So take a quick note of this, because right at the end of this session, there may not be time to get this to you. So it's an online portal with loads of video clips and training methods to help you manage and balance and grow your energy skills. So this is me, Xixing Fa, and I'm an energy specialist and Shaolin layman from Shaolin Temple in China. So a super quick intro, a photo intro. So Shaolin Temple, the lineage is coming from the Buddhist lineage, so from Gautama Buddha, down through the masters. This is Bodhidharma, the first patriarch of Chan Buddhism, and he established the current Shaolin Temple in Zhongshan province in China. So here's a photo of Shaolin Temple. It's quite well known, and the methods of training here have been going on for perhaps 1,500 years. So it's a really good lineage, a lot of good information, a lot of training methods of various aspects of Chan. This is my teacher's teacher, the late abbot of Shaolin Temple. And this is my teacher, in Chinese, Shifu, teacher, Shidalong. Shifu Shidalong is my teacher. So a quick few photos, me with the old abbot, Qigong, at Shaolin Temple in China, myself in the middle, and on the right with my Shifu. So super quick background and photo introduction, especially for those who've never met me before. So moving into the topic, highly sensitive people. Many of you know already that you fall into this category, highly sensitive. Others of you may be just realizing and discovering that you're a sensitive. And energy sensitives, empaths, intuitives, these are different types of highly sensitive people. So a highly sensitive person experiences more of reality than a less sensitive person. And there's loads of different types of sensitivity. So some people are very sensitive to emotional energies, mental energies, physical energies. Some people are sensitive to all of those three. Other people are very empathic, very intuitive, and they get those energy connections on a moment-to-moment basis. So highly sensitive people have existed and will continue to exist. In fact, there's probably more people being born with greater awareness and hence highly sensitive than in the past. In psychology, in recent years, they're starting to look at this, and potentially mainstream science will start to recognize this more and more. There's a little bit of recognition, but it's not a massive place of research at the moment. So this is a definition coined by a psychologist, Aaron, who uses this term, highly sensitive person. And a lot of people don't like to be categorized as I'm this, I'm that. It's just a way of trying to describe a living experience, your experience of reality. So we'll start with the obvious and the source. Everything is energy. And it's really important to understand that. Your energy, I'm energy. Our mind, our thoughts are energy. Our emotions are energy. The room around us has energy, emits energy. Everything is energy. And so, because everything is energy, a highly sensitive person is actually interacting with more energy than a less sensitive person. So arguably you're an upgrade on humanity. So let's use a metaphor. So on the left, you've got an old phone, old mobile phone, and on the right, you've got a newer mobile phone. Now, a highly sensitive person is like the newer mobile phone. They can do loads of stuff, cameras, videos, whatever. The phone on the left is a less sensitive person. They can function and make phone calls, but they can't do that much else. Now, one is not better or worse than another. This is not a judgment. This is an assessment of the interaction you have with reality. And so the upgrade for humanity is to become more sensitive. what's interesting is that many people are awakening, and that means they started their incarnational experience as the old phone, but through the process of awakening, they've suddenly become the new phone and are suddenly having to deal with all this sensitivity and experience that they're not used to. Many people have been born, and from the start, they've been highly sensitive, and therefore they're more used to it than the sudden awakenings. So everybody is on a path of awakening. Now, some people know this. Many of you know this, and you're working consciously with your awakening process with different methods and skills. But other people are not aware of this. They're awakening naturally, subconsciously, and they have no awareness. They're not consciously training or doing a method to assist. They're kind of fumbling through the process, and it's affecting them, and they're not quite sure what's going on. As everybody is naturally awakening, you're going to see more and more sensitivity, empathy, intuition, and this whole area of expansion of interaction with the energy of reality is going to grow. It's quite interesting because when I talk to sensitives, or when I'm working with sensitives, sometimes they talk about themselves as though there's something wrong with them. But actually, it's the opposite. You as a sensitive are leading the field. You have more skills, more interaction with reality. And the reason it's difficult is because mainstream reality and culture doesn't really understand, because it doesn't process as much of reality as you do. So it can't understand that extra bit of reality that is very real for you in your experience. So perception awareness and the processing of reality is only going to increase. It's not going to get less. So any of you who are sensitive and are finding it sometimes tricky on certain days to deal with so much energy, getting overwhelmed perhaps with the amount of energy interaction, unfortunately, it's not going to get easier. Reality is accelerating, and that means there's going to be more energies to interact with, and your perception is going to grow. So it's very important to have methods that work for you, that help you balance and stabilize, so you can enjoy your life as a sensitive, as an empath, as an intuitive. So we kind of touched on this already. I'm going to whiz through this. You may know that you're an emotional empath. You may know that you're physical energy sensitive. You may not really realize your brackets of energy sensitivity yet. And remember, you're awakening and evolving. So those brackets of sensitivity can expand and grow. So initially, when we look at energy sensitivity, we look at the general brackets and then start to focus on methods in those brackets. So a topic which sensitives are very aware of is energy vampirism. For some reason, and the real reason is because we haven't been trained this way, and many people interact in this way, they grab energy from another person. Quite often it's subconscious. It's not done with conscious skill. It's subconsciously done. And so energies are bounced around. And if the energy that's being bounced around is not conducive to you, let's say somebody's really angry, somebody's really negative, somebody's really heavy, somebody's carrying a lot of junk energy in their system and are offloading it on you, that can be very tricky for an energy sensitive or an empath. Some of the people I work with, they say how they wake up in the morning, they get ready, they meditate, they have breakfast, they feel great, and then they're in London, they jump on the underground and go to work. And that 20-minute trip on the underground, busy underground, by the time they get off the underground, they're finished. Already they're finished for the day because so much energy was moved around on that underground carriage that they're totally finished. And yet they felt so great when they left their house in the morning. That is energy moving around. And that's an example that perhaps some of you realize. Or you might be feeling really great and you interact with a friend, talking, and suddenly you realize you don't feel so great. That is movement of energy. And as I said, it's not always done consciously. But if somebody feels better when they interact with somebody else, they subconsciously know this. So they will then look to interact with them more subconsciously because they will feel better. So that leads to a growing vampirism, not with intent necessarily. Okay, so moving from there to vertical and horizontal energy connections. I'm going to cover quite a lot of stuff really quickly to give you an overview. As I said, we've got a portal going which you can really get into stuff and in more depth. So two types of basic energy connections, the vertical connection and the horizontal connection, and you can mix them as well. So a vertical connection of energy would be working with planet Earth and the cosmos, working vertically, and aspects of. So say, for example, the sun, the moon, various aspects of the Earth. So it could be a forest, could be an ocean, working the energy vertically. This is very healthy. So if you don't feel great, you shed the energy vertically, rebalance and re-energize and harmonize vertically, and then you interact horizontally with another human being. That's very healthy and great for everybody. The other interaction is horizontally. Now, there's nothing wrong with this horizontal movement of energy if everybody who's interacting is in quite a good energy space. But as you know, we're in duality on this planet. So this is not the case. So if the horizontal interaction is moving through different energies, for example, fear, anger, rage, negativity, to happiness, joy, bliss, excitement, curiosity. Now, depending on which of those energies you're playing with horizontally, it could be really great for you, or it could be awful for you. So we recommend the vertical movement of energy. And once you feel good, then interact horizontally in order to keep the vibration of yourself in a good space. So energy skill. As you know, this webinar is all about energy skill for you. So Qigong is the Chinese. Qi is energy, Gong is skill, energy skill. And so learning some methods, some energy methods will really help you balance your energies and deal with those more difficult aspects of your life in terms of when you get overwhelmed, perhaps saturated with energies that are not great for you. The plus side of being an energy sensitive, an empath, and intuitive is that when you have a great experience, it is amazing. The opposite side of that is when you have a not so good experience, it's quite full on. So energy skill is important. In order to have energy skill, you've got to work with various components. Some of these are conscious awareness, energy connections, movement of energy. And this allows you to clear your energy field, balance it, and very importantly, evolve. You want to grow your energetic, not keep it static. So this is an example of awareness. Within your own energy field, there are different aspects. You've got the gross physical energy, the emotional energy, the mental energy. And then in Chinese energy theory, Chinese medicine theory, you've got, for example, the energy of your heart, the energy of your kidneys, the energy of your liver. So you have different sub-energies that compose you. So as your awareness grows through different methods, you can start to work specific areas of your energy field to balance, cleanse, and harmonize. Working with heaven and earth, these vertical connections, you need, again, a bit of perception and the connection ability. As a sensitive, your connective ability is naturally really good. So you really need to know how to use it and start to use it practically on a day-to-day basis. Movement of energy. So perhaps you do a bit of yoga, perhaps you like to go walking in nature, do a bit of Qigong or Tai Chi. Anything that moves the energy is really important, especially if the energy you're experiencing is not great for you. A little tricky if you're in the middle of an office, say you're working and you've picked up some energetic interaction that's not good. You can't necessarily move energy with movement of this nature, but you can make energy connections anywhere. Now, once you've cleansed the energy field, the next space that we like to work with is evolution and expansion. We're all evolving. I've been training since I was 18. I'm still evolving day by day as I train my energy skills. It's not a static space. And as many of you can feel and have felt, the energy is accelerating these days. It's going to continue to accelerate. And that means the evolution of your energetic is naturally happening. So you've got to learn to consciously work with that. Okay, so we're going to stop now for a little bit of Q&A, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, just a short bit of Q&A. If any of you have some personal queries or questions and you want to get in touch, there are some details there and you can get in touch with me and we can discuss more personal things in that way. But if any of you have any less personal or Q&A stuff, now's the time to ask. We'll take a few questions about your energy sensitivities or any questions you might have on the subject. A little later after this, we're going to start training. We're going to do a bit of Qigong and energy skill in this session. So, is there anybody who's got a question? And don't be shy to ask if you do. Can be very general. So another way you can ask a question, you can put it through the chat box. So if you do have a question, you can just tap it through. Okay, so interesting. Yeah, so what brought me to this work? So as I mentioned, I started training when I was 18. At 18, you're very interested, well, I was interested in the martial arts, Chinese martial arts. And my Shifu, my teacher, he's an amazing martial artist as well as a great energy healer. So initially at 18, it was about the martial arts, Chinese Kung Fu. As I was training with my teacher over the years, an interest started to develop in the Qigong, the energy skill. And once I started learning that with my teacher, for me, that took over everything. That was the main focus. So I've been training with energies for many, many years now. And it's still, for me today, as fascinating and interesting as it was back then. You can imagine, my teacher's alive and well, he's still teaching. And if you ask anybody who's trained traditionally, the training never ends. You can spend a whole lifetime and there's still so much more to practice and learn. Any other questions? That's a very good question. So protection of energy. You can't protect your energy. This is a real misnomer. A lot of people say, I'm going to protect my energy. If you can protect your energy, if you put a shield, 100% shield around your energy field, that means you can't interact with the quantum field, which means you can't really exist very well. So when you're in busy places, what you can do is if you can feel your energy field, you can bring it inwards a bit. So you can condense it, make it quite compact. A lot of energy sensitives, their fields are quite open and expanded. So let's use a kind of physical example. Let's say you don't realize it, but your energy field is open at 50 meters in all directions, but you don't know that. You just think you're being you walking down the street. Let's say it's central London, Christmas shopping, there's a lot of people. You're walking down Oxford Street, you don't know, but your energy field as a sensitive is naturally expanded to 50 meters in all directions. Can you imagine the amount of stuff you're going to pick up? Now, with training and practice, you can bring that field in a bit, perhaps 1 meter, and then there's less energy absorption. That's one method. There are loads of different methods. Another method is to really build strength in your energetic core, if you like. And this means that certain energies can't really be absorbed deeply into your energy field. So there are a lot of methods. It's a really good question. And for sensitives, that's the hardest place where there's busy crowds. I myself, I'm an energy sensitive. So I feel the energy. So when I go to, say, a crowded space, I bring my field inwards and I'm very focused, because otherwise I will feel the energy of loads and loads of people around. And that's not what you want to do. Any other questions? Okay, that's another excellent question. So a lot of energy sensitives don't realize the level of their energy sensitivity and how much external energy they're absorbing into their energy field. So as you go about your life, you could be absorbing a lot of energetics which are of a different vibration to your natural space. And what happens then is that your cells and your body start to get ill. You start to get sickness, illness. And you go to Western medicine and they'll look at it from that perspective of sickness, illness in a Western medical perspective. But sometimes what's triggered the illness is actually a constant absorption of energy that's not conducive to you. Let me use a gross physical example so it's really obvious. Let's say you open the window and cold air is coming in, but you don't know that cold air is coming in. If it blows inwards for long enough, you get a cold, you get a chill, you get ill. But if you don't realize you've opened the window and that cold air is coming in, you don't know that it's making you ill. So a lot of energy sensitives that I work with, they don't consciously realize the amount of energy they're absorbing from other people, from situations, from other places. And some of them are absorbing it to a point where their cells are reacting and they're having illnesses. When I work with people in that space, the first thing we do is get them training some conscious awareness. Then we work some energy methods to start to clear the energy field. And then we also work with methods of connection. So there's a whole training that can be done. On the plus side, because you're an energy sensitive, you can absorb energies which are conducive to you just as quickly as you can absorb energies which are not conducive to you. So you can clear out quite fast, you can absorb pleasant energies quite quickly, and then it's a balancing game, because you can't live in a mountain and ignore humanity. You can't just hide away. You've got to go and interact with people and situations and places. And sometimes that means energy which is not good for you. But if you know, when I get home, I've got this method to clear out that junk energy, I've got this method to rebuild my energy, and then I'm going to feel great, then the fear dissipates. And then you think, okay, I've got to go and meet loads of people today. It's going to be a bit rough, but I know when I get home, I can sort it out. You're not scared anymore. You're not thinking, oh, will I get ill? What's going to happen? But that's a really important question. And thanks for asking that. That is happening to so many people. That I do a Chinese medicine clinic in London, and I get a lot of people who've got Western medical illnesses diagnosed who are actually energy sensitives. And when we start to clear the energy field, some of that illness dissipates rather quickly. Any other quick questions? Okay, so that's another good question. So remember I said we're all energy. Now, if you're an energy and we're all interconnected, which we are, if you change yourself, you're automatically emanating that vibration into the field of humanity. So I'll give you a classical description. Some of you might know this actually, especially those of you who are really deeply into your yoga. So you might have heard of a concept known as Indra's net. It's a concept in Hinduism and Buddhism, they use this as well. Indra's net, and it describes the interconnectedness of all things in the multiverses, like a big net, a big web. Now, you and I, we're currently in a human body on planet Earth, but we're interconnected. We're part of this web. So if you decide, I'd really like to do a bit of yoga and do some energy skills and start to clear out my energy field, that emanates and ripples outwards. Where does it ripple? Well, the obvious place is with family and friends, with children. It emanates into your house, into your home. Remember, your home is an energy field. People think their house is just bricks and mortar and furniture. It's not. It's a living energy field. Everything is energy. Absolutely everything is energy. Now, some of you sensitives, you know this because you can connect to a crystal or maybe a house plant and you can really feel it. You might connect to your children or to your partner or family and you can feel them. So that rippling out can create a lot of change in self. It naturally emanates outwards. And within the mass consciousness of humanity, there are subfields, smaller fields. So I'll give you an example. There's the mass field of all of the human race, but then there are racial fields, cultural fields, location fields, empathic fields, where certain types of empaths have a group field. A bit like in the animal kingdom, you have the generic animal kingdom. Then the whales have a specific field as well within it. The dolphins have a specific field within it. So in another way, as you work your energy skill, it naturally is available for the rest of humanity. So again, these are good questions. And those of you who are a little shy, I know some energy sensitives, empaths, intuitives can be a little shy. I get it. It's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You can drop an email in later if you don't feel you want to ask a question on a live webinar. That's absolutely fine. Any other quick questions? Otherwise, we're going to spend the last 10 minutes doing a little bit of Qigong. Gosh, that's a really... okay, another good question. Now, let me put it to you another way. To get into somebody's energy field with real skill means, oh, wow, that's not good. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you do get this. So some people know consciously are trying to vampire basically. And why are they doing this? Because in that interaction with you and your energy, they feel better. It empowers them. It gives them energy. Literally, it's like a battery. Imagine you've got two cars. One battery is flat, one battery is not flat. You charge off the good battery. That's what they're doing. Why are they doing it? Could be a whole load of reasons. You've got to literally look at the situation specifically to know why they're doing it. What can you do about it? Coming back to your energy skills. If you have some conscious energy skills, you can work with them in that situation. I'll give you an example of what you could do. Again, you do need a bit of skill to do this, but it's not difficult. Let's say a person's literally draining your energy consciously. The obvious one is not to interact with them too much. But if you have to, for whatever, let's say it's your boss at work, you can't dodge it, and your boss is consciously draining your energy and knows it. One thing you can do is work with an energy during the interaction. So what does that mean? You can connect to the energy of the earth, the energy of the sun, bring them through your energy field and push that out through your energy field. So what they're interacting with is mainly earth and sun and not so much you. Do you see? So you're using other energies in the game, in the reality, to work with very powerful energies. If you start to connect consciously to strong energies, then you sometimes find that these energy vampires cannot deal with the frequencies of these energies and suddenly they don't want to interact with you so much. They start dodging you because it doesn't feel pleasant to them. Another point, it's quite a big question, so I'm just going to leave it with this because we've got to do a bit of training. This is supposed to, we want to get a bit of movement of energy as well. But do, by all means, drop an email in if you'd like to get into this a bit more. Another point is this. The people who are draining energies from another person, sometimes that's because subconsciously, a lot of sensitives are very compassionate people and they give a lot. Sometimes subconsciously, they don't even know it. And therefore, at a subconscious level, they're trying to help. And so they will give energy to the vampires, not because they consciously want to. They don't even realize they're doing it sometimes until afterwards, when they feel really done in. A lot of sensitives chose to be sensitives before they incarnated, and it's a service to humanity. That doesn't mean you have to suffer, but subconsciously, a lot of sensitives do give energy out to other people to the detriment of themselves. Very briefly, the skill set that we're supposed to have as sensitives is that you have skill with your energy and you consciously choose to help people with your energy skill as required, not subconsciously bleed out to the vampires. So a very quick answer to quite a deep question. So 33, we've got to get a bit of training in. We've only got sort of under 10 minutes left now. Any of you who've got further questions, do by all means get in touch, email in and ask your questions. Obviously, they'll be treated in confidence and I'll get back to you with those answers. If you are really suffering and you want 5 minutes on FaceTime or Skype or something like that, again, email in and I'll arrange to try and have a quick chat with you to see if we can sort stuff out. Okay, so let's move now into some training. We're going to do a bit of energy work together and then we'll end the session. So I'm just going to switch out of this view. Okay, brilliant. So we're going to do a little bit of energy training, and we don't have an awful lot of time, so we're just going to touch this. But on that portal, we have clips and theory. So if you feel to, if you want to, join that. It's a free portal with information to help you. And on that, you can also send in questions and stuff. Yeah. Okay, so let's start by tuning in to the breathing. So start by gently holding the lung energy. So just place your hands on the chest. You can have them over the heart or on the lungs themselves. And you're going to breathe in through the nose. So as you breathe in, take a nice big in-breath in through the nose. Try and expand those lungs. See if you can feel the energy of your lungs as you breathe in. On the out breath, breathing out through the mouth, totally letting go, releasing the lung chi, the lung energy, releasing the physical lungs, and anything energetically that's caught up, bound into your lung energy. Breathing is quite a noisy affair, so be absolutely happy, comfortable with noisy breathing. It's very natural. Again, take 3 breaths as you breathe in, breathing in through the nose, tuning in to the lung centers and the energy of your lungs. Out breath through the mouth, totally releasing. So relaxing. We go one more time as you breathe in, breathing in through the nose. See if you can tune into the energy of the air, the energy of cosmos, earth, Draw it in through the breath, flooding the lung centers, expanding the lung cells. And then on that out breath through the mouth, releasing, totally letting go. So now we're going to sync the energy of the breath. So take the hands now down to your solar plexus area, just under the rib cage, and just holding lightly that area. Tune into the body, tune into the energy in that space if you can feel it. And now when you breathe in, draw the experience of the energy of the air all the way down, as low as you can. Yeah, so you'll physically take the molecules into the lungs, but the energy you can take down the body into this area here, inside the body. Yeah, middle cavity, we call it, your solar plexus area. So breathing in through the nose. As you draw the chi of the air, the energy of the air, sink it through the lungs, down through the body, into your middle cavity, your solar plexus region, inside the core of your body. Physically, this area will swell a little. Out breath, breathing out through the mouth, releasing everything, emotions, mind, body, energy from this middle cavity region. Let it go. Next breath, see if you can sink the energy a little further. So just below the navel, we call this dantian in Chinese medicine. It's basically an energy center, a little lower in the abdominal cavity. As you breathe in, draw the chi, the energy of the air, energy of cosmos, energy of earth, draw it down the body into the abdominal cavity. If you can't consciously feel the energy, just bring the focus of your mind awareness down into dantian, the abdominal cavity on the in-breath. So now we're going to just spend a little bit of time sinking chi, sinking energy. So from here, relaxing. As you breathe in, breathing in through the nose, just expanding upwards. Now focusing, energy of your hands, as you breathe out, sinking the energy, sinking the chi, down through the body, from above the crown of your head, coming straight through the head center. Focusing now in the center of your head, whatever you experience in the center of your head, whether it's mind, thoughts, energy, physical brain, whatever you experience in the center of your head, tune into it. And on your next out breath, sink it downwards through the neck, down into your heart center, your heart energy. Focusing on the in-breath into the experience in your heart center, the energy of your heart, the physical heart, emotions, body, mind, connected through that heart space. And on your next out breath, sink everything vertically down through the body, down into your dantian, your abdominal energy center, below the navel. Breathing in, connecting strongly into your dantian, the abdominal center, energy therein, the physicality, mind, emotions linked into this area. And this is the big one. On the out breath, sink this down through the legs, through the feet, into the planet, into the earth. Let it all go. So we're going to go again. Yeah, it's quite a simple exercise, but very powerful. Yeah. So breathe in. Now focusing, energy of the hands. Some of you will be able to feel the energy of the cosmos, the energy of the sun, the moon, the stars, the universe. Connect to that if you can. If you can't, just focus on the energy of your hands. And now as you breathe out, sinking the energy through the crown of the head into the center of your head energy field. Connecting strongly there. Next out breath, sinking everything down through the neck into the heart center. Breathe in, focusing deeply into your heart center, energy, emotions, mind, body, and on the out breath, sinking everything vertically down through the body into your abdominal center, your dantian. And now big focus, because this is where we release the energy into the earth. So focus, and then on your next out breath, sink in the chi, the energy, strongly, strong mind, down through the legs, through the soles of your feet, into the planet. Let the planet cleanse your energetic field, totally relaxing. And now, just see how you feel. I know we haven't had much time, so we've just literally done 2 movements. But because you're a sensitive, energy moves quickly for you. So some of you may already feel very different or just slightly different. You can repeat this exercise as soon as this ends, which is probably around now. Just do this exercise for 10 minutes, see how you feel. So unfortunately, we haven't had much time to do much training, very short session. There's so much to cover. But really, it's an introduction. For those who don't know me, you've met me now. As an energy sensitive myself, my speciality, one of the reasons I'm here in a body on this planet, is to help energy sensitives, empaths, intuitives. I love to help because I know exactly what many of you go through because I experience it myself. So if you would like to join our portal, get in touch, especially those who had questions that you didn't want to ask publicly, get in touch. There are some very simple methods that you can put into practice in your day-to-day life. And you'd be surprised, 15 minutes a day of a method can really change your life. So thanks for joining this quick webinar. Any questions at all, get in touch. And remember, being an energy sensitive, an empath and intuitive, being a highly sensitive person is actually a gift, and your duty to yourself is to realize the amazing gift that is. Remember, you chose, I chose, you chose to incarnate as a highly sensitive person. Nobody forced it on us as Shun or spirit. We decided we're going to choose a human body and have sensitivity. It's our choice. So now we have to manage our choice whilst we're in the body. And that takes a bit of practice. Thank you very much. Any questions, get in touch.